You really have to dig deep into your hero pool. You have to focus down how you're gonna get those synergies kicking in as well. And since people, we're already talking about that, I know everyone's so ready. You all are watching Surge Esports out here, the EMC, and we will be starting the first quarterfinals right off the bat. RGN on the blue side, AKKE on the red side. And the first ban right off the bat is going to be that Hellcut. And Zakota, I remember in the talk show you guys were talking about the fact that how strong Hellcut has been and how we have actually seen him being picked up previously in the Swiss stages.
Well, Hellcut is not particularly strong, but in the hands of Mako, it's a monster of a hero. He plays it exactly how you imagine a Hellcut player would, like a cockroach. He's just in every bush, he's just ever on the map, he's split pushing, he's just being everywhere. But even so, we're gonna see that Uranus getting thrown out the window. We know Burger, aka Blume, is a monster on that hero, Baksha as well. We've seen how well it works as a first pick. It's a hero that can work in multiple lanes, so it's a nice thing to have. It's a niche hero. But even so, what do we expect to see banned here, beside the 1-on, of course?
I mean, to be honest, if you're on that red side, you technically have to pick your poisons out here, right? There's so many good heroes right now, and I believe this is the current meta that is one of the most open metas out there, which we normally don't really see. Sometimes you have those tank jungle metas, sometimes you've got the assassin metas. Right now, you can literally pair up anything with anything. If you can make that synergy work, it will eventually work. So, I don't know, man, maybe a Lapu Lapu, Yuzhong, a lot of those are actually kind of annoying as well. A Lancelot as well could also be taken care of. But alright, focus down on that Kimi. I do like the idea as well, not really letting that one insane hero back again into that mid lane, but now the option is for Rain, and guess what? We're talking about mid lane priority, they lock in the Zushin instantly.
I mean, banning the Farsa is an automatic ring for the enemies to ban the Kimi, because if you let that Kimi go while with no Farsa to counter her, it's gonna be a complete slaughterfest.
True.
But even so, Lapu Lapu and Badang as counter picks, again, two really strong meta heroes, Badang on their roaming position, Lapu Lapu on at XP. We know he has that 20% damage reduction on his ultimate just by casting it. I mean, that's a lot. And you stack it with his passive from the second skill, it's again plus 8% for each enemy hit. But even so, I think Josh is going to counter with his signature pick Alpha. And I want to see Kingstar on an interesting roam. The Jawhead is one of his best, if I'm not mistaken. Even the AKKE works pretty well in the hands of Kingstar again. A staple roamer in the community, but the Arlott gets picked up alongside the YSS. Two monster heroes, so really strong in the current meta. YSS is basically an assassin with a stun. I mean, what can you do? An assassin marksman with a stun, and Arlott is just Arlott. What can you say about
after that rework, I agree. After that rework, YSS has basically been one of the most annoying heroes to deal with out there. But to be honest, there's one hero that can actually counter a few of those stuns if you're casting those rhythm of beats properly, and that's going to be Nanda, or rather Joy, in the hands of Nanda right now. They might as well go in for a few swaps here and there, but I think so. I don't know. I'm not really the biggest fan out there of the Joy being picked up so early on, but it again feels like they now can focus down on a few more bans on either the jungle position, or I mean, Lord protect them if they're trying to run Joy in the mid lane, maybe ban out a few more junglers out there. I really want to see something along the similar lines. They banned out the Moscow. They don't really want to give that gold lane priority right now on the hands of Rain, and there's a Zacian ban. All right. That's actually an interesting one.
Zetian is a really good ban, actually, because he's gonna give extra movement speed to the enemy, so they cannot go for that Irritel pick. He's gonna deny them that extra help on Irritel's ultimate. You know, the passive stacks up when you walk. Again, Irritel gets banned as well, so they want to go for maybe for the Granger. Or not, they want to bait the Granger out. Considering they have the Arlott, they can just go for a final slash, put him out of his comfort zone, and just lay him down. But still, I'm curious what they're gonna pick on the gold if the Granger is getting, stolen by Team AKKE.
I mean, few options out there. Maybe they can go for a Natan as well. I'm seeing him picked up a bit as well. But again, we'll just have to see, since we are actually seeing quite a few golden priorities being banned out there. 1-1, Irithel, Moscow. I myself, I'm a 1-1 win, so I enjoy that a bit too much too. And if they want to land in for a bit more comfort, maybe they can pick up the Claude for themselves. Again, not really the best pick out there though, but it can actually work pretty decently against a Granger, which has been locked in by AKKE right. But guys, the last final two picks out here, are they going to lock in an EXP, or are they going to send that Arlott in the EXP rather? They pick up a Bruno and a Ruby. All right.
Ruby in the roaming position, Arlet on the XP, and I was thinking about the Bruno. I was like thinking in my head, what are they gonna pick? The Bruno's the only one left. But what is gonna be the mid lane of Team AKKE? I'm expecting a Nana. We've seen it work the other day, and it's a pretty decent counter to the Ruby, because the Ruby is gonna go in. You can like maybe bait out the Flicker and Unoffended combination, but still,
Mm.
it's such a rare pick, right? In the current meta, the Nana. But we've seen it a few times.
Could work, but I was also thinking of either a Valentino or maybe an Eve, depending on what they really want to go with. An Eve might actually pair up well with that killbox composition that you're trying to cook with the Low and the Badang. So you basically catch them out in that one box. Valentina, again, one of the best when the enemy has got quite a good amount of ultimates though. But guess you guys were talking about the Xavier, how strong he is in that early to mid game, or rather even the late game as well. The only problem is that there's a lack of mobility, and there's an Arlet and a Ruby on the other side, Zakota. I'm kind of leaning in towards the draft of Rain at this point.
I mean, I agree with you completely, but I think Nish is gonna disagree with you. I mean, they picked his main, they picked Xavier out, but with the proper positioning, Xavier can be an actually devastating mage with a Badang in combination with that wall being there. You can put that field of holy light and just keep them immobilized for a few seconds. Lapu Lapu can join in, Joy can join as well, and it's basically free hits for the Death Sonata from Granger.
It could work, yes. I could see it working in one of the possible outcomes out there, but out of the 14 million that are there, I am still rooting in for Rain because again, for the early game, yes, they've got the Zushin as well for a bit of that extra bit of crowd control from the Lantern Flare. You've got the Arlot to set things up for your team. And then you have a Yi Senshin and a Bruno combination. Now, regardless of how deadly Yi Senshin is as more like an assassin player, he is still a marksman as well. He scales up pretty well into that mid and late game too. So I'm pretty sure that this is actually going to be a pretty tough battle right now for AKKE to deal with. But if they pull their cards right, they'll be able to bring themselves back and maybe have an advantage in this best of three series, ladies and gentlemen. You all are watching the European Mid-Season Cup. We're jumping into the land of dawn with Rain on the blue side, AKKE on the red side.
I mean, I see a lot of the same emblem. That fighter emblem has been buffed recently, so it's just a lot of help to these fighter bruisers and sustain heroes. But I mean, the Ruby is gonna work extremely well in the combination with the Arlo because you get that passive up and you're gonna dash constantly. But even so, Nyando is already losing the mid lane trade, of course, versus Juxin. One of the most, if not the most, annoying mages to play against. I think her and Kimi are literally on the same spot annoyance-wise. But even so, they are losing out the poking thing and they can give maybe Joshi the kill early. We've seen Team Nightfall do it a lot. They like to gank up the mid lane before level 4, but even so, look at the retribution fight already. Joshi doesn't even need to use it.
So one of the most important thing, still trying to survive out there, though you've not really baited out any spells on the other side, but it's the HP that's being traded out there, though Kingstar almost trying to catch one out there onto Mako, who will eventually go back to safety. But the priority is clear right now. Rain are winning the early game. They are having that control in the river as well. And out there, Zushin trying to just deny a bit of a vision. Kingstar seems to be in trouble. A bit of a low HP out, but still the priority of Nandayo seems to be Mio out there, though. Toby a bit too deep out there. The East Sunshine gets the land of stun, but he now needs to run away as the rhythm of beats hops in. Maku going in with that song out there did not really catch anyone. And after all of those hits, I'm surprised that we didn't see a first blood.
I mean, I think they were just trying to trade out for spells and forcing out the mid lane, and the roam in the early is a really good thing, but we're seeing the Ruby just zoning out.
He's still trying to go in for a bit more. Now Zushin does not really have anything left with, but Mio is going to land a little stun out there. The rhythm of beats jumping in on the back. And you still see Zushin fall out there. Mio not really being able to survive Kingstar, not allowing the am offended as well, but still is able to steal away that buff, so they get something out of that engagement. But I would still say the trade was still in favor of AKKE.
I think it was an even Steven trade. They got the turtle, they got the blue buff, but they lost their mid lane for the trade, and the jungle got a kill, which is another big thing. You shouldn't give a Joy a kill in their league because she's gonna get fed out of her mind. She's going for, I believe, the concentrated energy build to give her a lot more teamfight capabilities, but even so, the gold is really even now. Originally, Yuichi is a jungle main, but still he transferred over to gold. But again, even Steven matchup so far.
Yeah, but again, that river control is what we normally talk about, right? You have that control, that means you can gank the other side, while you'll always have the information of what the other side is going to do. I think so. The key for this early to mid game transition, AKKE, is going to be the Lapu Lapu. Right? He needs to be the key. Kuru needs to rotate fast right now, and he's doing the exact same thing, making sure Bloom is the one who's
Joshi.
struggling out. But guess what? The struggle lands in the hands of Nandayo. The Purify was on cooldown and is taken down as well already. And if Joshi farms up quickly in that mid game, the transition to the late game is going to be so quick.
I mean, poor Nyando off camera, he was slain out by Joshi. They did use that ultimate to trade for him, but still, it was a really good trade. They are 1000 gold ahead. Yuichi got his House Claws as a first item to just sustain a lot more on lane versus the Granger, but even so, we're looking at a
Yeah.
pretty early gank. 3 people, 4 people mobilizing towards the top, but look at the Joy! Forcing the flicker out.
Yeah, he's eventually just getting caught out there as well, though. But look at the top side out here. The rotation comes in now. Toby is going to be running back as well, but Joy jumps in. Joshi still down stun was perfect, and Bloom hops in. At the same time, the final slash catching Toby. He'll still land in the barrage of shots out there, surviving out, and the ult being committed, but the turtle still goes to the hands of Joshi. The dawning light not really catching what really they wanted to catch, but the trades again favoring a bit more now to Rain, not just in terms of kills, but also in terms of those neutral objectives.
I don't know if you noticed that, but Joshi picked up the Sky Piercer first item on Wisun Shin. Usually you see maybe a
Yeah.
Hunter Strike, maybe a Warx, but not out of the ordinary still, but the trades are still in the favor of Rain. 2000 and a half gold ahead, 2 turtles advantage, and almost a tower in the top lane. There are 3 versus 2 currently in the top, but still, that fight in the bot lane is also taking place. Arlo doesn't have the final slash, he just used it. Lapu Lapu forced to use that bravest fighter to escape, but look at Yuichi!
I still gonna take
Ah,
that tower, turn back to safety as Zasha was out of trouble though, but look at Mark who can catch Mio out here, who's got the flicker to run away, but there's the fist crack, and it's perfectly Kingstar taken down. The engage tool now out of the picture. Discipline being
slash.
showcased by Key.
The final slash is available in the hands of Arlott, so he could make a comeback play. Joshi is near, Mio is near, and they can really turn this game around. It's still only a 2000 and a half gold difference, actually 3000. Damn, that skyrocketed in a few seconds, but look at Blume. He's just poking out, doing what he should. Final slash, are we gonna see it? Not even needed.
Absolutely. Toby is just gonna be out there. The damage is just so intense, and that happens when you technically have this composition of double marksman, right? If you don't really take advantage in the early game, then that marksman will burst you down and starting through the mid one. But if an early engage out there, Kuru almost trying to catch him, skull landslide, not catch me or not in as well as the raging
Final
slash
slash.
over the final slash connects perfectly onto him, but look at the back, still gonna be pushed back by Maku. And some of joy out here. They do survive for now again in terms of all the objectives. Rain that is winning.
And Rain has the lead. They stopped the recall of Lapu Lapu, so he couldn't rotate towards the bot lane or top lane to clear that minion. Josh is gonna take that turtle uncontested, but still, Neo, look how aggressive he is. Toby used his wall. I'm offended comes as well.
There's them out as Maku was the first one to fall. There it's Yoichi who eventually gets that pick, and they have the advantage in that entire jungle as well. They'll be able to steal with the blue. Guess what? Trying to take it a bit more close. Was up in front, but does not really matter. Stealing that blue away. No, guess what? Yeah, he's smart out there. He realizes the timings. He realizes that regardless of what the situation is, his team need to get it from anywhere possible.
I mean, using that Hello Purple to clear the buff, but the final slash!
The backline catches two, puts them in the off angle out there though, but Kuru is the one who actually clicks that, and he himself will fall down to Joshi. Is able to take that one trade. Back and forth we go, but it's still a 4 gold lead. And I like what AKKE is doing now. Maku is pushing up top to try and get something back.
Talking about Maku, is 4 levels behind Joshi in farm, so there is a big lead in the jungle department. But even so, it's not that big of a difference. You just need to clear a few minion waves, and the best thing to do for Maku is to invade the small jungle green creeps of Team Rain. I mean, they take everything from Mako. He's left for nothing. But even so, he's still trying. 5 levels difference between them right now. They're just looking
True.
for a team fight. Lord in 30 seconds. A death is gonna call the game right now. For 8 minutes in, 4,000 and a half gold lead, 7-3 score. 1/3 in the favor of Team AKKE. Still, it's a game you can turn around. Oh,
I
I'm
mean, it's gonna be
offended.
difficult if these kind of I'm offended are landed in as Joshi goes in for the monster kill. Though he did not really catch anyone as again the raging slashes. Good playing. He's still trying to out-sustain as Joshi jumps up. Almost catching that one last hit, but the enhanced defense of Lapu Senkuru. But it does not matter. They still get a big pick onto Astra, who was surviving now.
Lord is up and ready to take. Yuichi is gonna take that lead on that. Mako is in the bush. He got revealed by Mio, but even so, he doesn't have the retribution level similar to Joshi. But look at Bravest Fighter goes
Mio?
in.
Yeah, he's still trying to cancel it. Only Shaker only connecting to one out there. Though, but Maku is the one who's falling yet again. They're falling like dominoes. They don't have the same nor the damage. Joshi just stands in front of them. Dawning Light is able to get enough. But again, it's not gonna matter. They're gonna get easily. It's down all the way from top lane too.
A Lord pushing down the top lane, 9 minutes and a half in, but even so, the mid is still up and primed to take. But Xavier is defending that with his life. He didn't recall one time. He's gonna give the Joy a little bit of help with that blue buff to give her a bit of a cooldown reduction. He has to go to base. He doesn't have that much mana left, so it could be a big thing in a team fight. Yuichi in the mid left push, just staying there for some vision. Not known he's there, but look at Kingstar. He's looking for a play.
Trying to look for the fun. They've been making those kinds of plays so many times now. One of the big things I noticed right now, Zakota, is the fact that Joshi has got 5 items logged in after that endless battle which he just made. Maku is still struggling for his second item. The difference is just so humongous right now. And even though it's time to try and jump in, Lapu Lapu wanna catch me, but he's still gonna survive. The backline is gonna be cleaned up by Joshi. Ku falls as well. But at least he's bought enough time for his team to defend the Lord. The Holy Shield is out. There is no more defense on top. Might want to crack it open. Hollow Purple out there. Not anything apart from just a bit of damage
I'm
out there.
offended.
The minions though.
Final slash.
Another final connecting on to Toby. But he's just a roamer. He will sustain through that for now.
11 minutes in already. Both shields from the top and mid turret are gone. The only turret that's standing is the tier 2 bot lane, but even so, they're so far ahead. I don't think they can defend it with the next push. Lord is up in 90 seconds, 1 minute and a half away from the game's demise. I think if Mako can go for a steal, they can turn it around. Astra, I mean, has the items necessary to do a ton of damage. He has the Hunters, like he has that Sky Pierce, he has that Malefic Roar to do a ton of penetration. But even so, Kingstar has been on point with his ammo offended as well. Blume with the final slashes.
Yeah. Not really catching anyone out there, but Astra out in the open on the other side of the ball. This is the Shigashina wall you don't want to cross. He is falling down out there, and that means, again, nothing you can in the jungle. A few more seconds for the Granger, not getting any more farm. He's struggling out there as well. Yes, you mentioned
the
strike and the Malefic Roar, but guess what? It's a full build already from Joshi.
5,000 and a half gold difference between this jungler. It's night and day. You can see the damage coming from the YSS. It's extraordinary. Holy Crystal finally picked up by Joy, but even so.
And catch them as the flicker connects with the Landshaker. It's the 2 stand out. Dragons will get 2 of them, but they don't have the damage to try and get anything. Dawning Light absolutely there, but guess what? Mako isn't. Just gets deleted as soon as it's to dash in. This is a drastic damage that's coming in. Zakota, they're showing why they qualified 3-0 straight from the Swiss stage.
I mean, I believe these are one of the contenders for the championship. I think they can take the #1 spot, but still, it's a best of 3 series. Who knows? Maybe they got lucky in the first game. Maybe it's just pure skill, but everything can change around, and that's what's so good about Mobile Legends Bang Bang. Everything can be turned around. Even so, Blume has to make a really good entry point for the Lord charge as well to sync it up pretty nicely. But Joy cannot go in. She's too squishy compared to the Yi Sun-shin.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem. He needs to wait for Toby to land in a proper fish crack, and he also needs to wait for Kuru to land big stun with the flicker, and he's not getting that flicker for the next 45 seconds. Lord takes 30 seconds to march from base to base if he's going into the side lane. They're not gonna have that up whatsoever. I think so. One of the big pieces of puzzle has been Neo throughout this game. His positioning has been so
Final
good. Now he's gonna
slash!
be the final slash, connecting in, but still Xavier with the purify back to the safety. But Kuru is not going up. His raging slashes and the enhanced bomb now. This Lord easily barge in, not just through the inhibitor, but also can crack the base open.
I mean, the Lord is gonna get a top turret down, the mid lane is gonna fall shortly afterwards, but look at final slash yet again!
Another one into the I'm offended and the catch out. Other two as Yuichi lands in some of the nasty shots. You do not have the time for raging slashes on Lapu as Kuru will fall. This double marksman setup has worked out perfectly for Rain, and they will probably take the game number one. Still a minion to deal with and not.
But even so, let's go into the draft. We're gonna see AKKE on the blue side, Rain on the red side, and the one finally goes out first, out the door. That scaredy cat is going on the tree, on the ban tree.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I've got probably one of the highest matches with 1-1 in this entire game. So I personally understand why people are banning 1-1 out right now. It's just too annoying to deal with and too difficult to catch on to. I think so. There's only one hero that can actually counter 1-1 well in the lane, and that is the Erethiel with the sprint. Apart from that, yeah, good luck trying to stop this jumping cat out there, though. But you were mentioning about the Hellcut, it still will be respect banned by Rain. They banned it out in the previous game, they're banning it out in this one as well.
We're gonna see the Uranus and Ruby falling out the door as well. Two heroes that can work on XP. One can work on jungle. Uranus jungle has been a thing for some time now. He does a lot more damage with his basic attack, it stacks, and with Thunderbelt being still a broken item, it's a good thing because you get 99% slowdown, you get a lot of physical defense and magical defense as well. But what do you think the first hero pick is going to be? Because we can fantasize about the bans, but we don't know what the players are thinking. We can just be surprised. But I'm thinking jungle are going to get banned out right now, and mages are going to be picked up early.
It is highly possible. Since they have the priority, they can either ban out the Farsa and then force a Kimi ban onto the side of Rain and then lock something else in. But they take out the Zushin right now. So it kind of gives me an idea that their priority is not the mid lane. Maybe they want to pick up something in the jungle or maybe something in the EXP lane itself. Maybe prioritize the Lapu Lapu right now. But there are a lot of openings that they can really decide to go on for. But I personally feel that there could be a possibility of a Yi Senshin pick right away. Deny that pick to Rain and do not allow Joshi to pick that hero again.
I was thinking for Team AKKE to go, as I said, with the Farsa. The mid lockdown should be a thing. You can allow Rain to go for the Kimi if you have the Farsa, because there's that Feather Airstrike, that aerial damage, that artillery mage. You can just be far away and just out-zone them. As you said, the YSS shouldn't be left open, but they're gonna go ban out the Bashat. I assume they're gonna go for either the Kimi or the Farsa. I think Farsa is the strongest mage in the current meta, so I'm looking forward to that, and there it is.
Called out for it. Farsa picked up right away. Now you've got a lot of range as well. You can cover a lot of ground with a feather there strike. Now, how do you pick something to counter that? I am leaning a bit towards the Yuzhong, or maybe you can pick up the Arlet for yourself one more time. It worked in the previous game. You can make it work this time around as well, and probably force Toby on either a Purify so that he has to survive as soon as the final slash comes in, or he is just going to have a difficult time in his mid lane itself. I'm still thinking along those lines. They can try to prioritize Lapu as well if they really want to. But I'm thinking of the Yi Senshin being picked up as well. It worked in the previous game, could really work this time around as well. And I did not really see AKKE have a lot of heroes to counter that.
I mean, I'm thinking about the Fanny, I'm thinking about the Lancelot, I was going to mention him. But, I mean, Fanny open, Ling open, Hayabusa open, YSS open. 4 great jungles still left open on the table, but the Gazotkachka gets picked out on the roaming side, which is a bit of an interesting pick currently. I mean, the Tigreal is a pretty nice into the Lancelot. I mean, yes, you have that taunt from the Gazotkachka, you have that AOG to just catch people away and just scare the Farsa, make her use that Wings by Wings passive. But still, Kimi open on the
Mm.
table, Irritel on the table, Granger again on the table, YSS on the table, Arlot on the table, Yuzhong, as you mentioned, on the table. I would pick Yuzhong on AKKE side
Yeah,
just for Team Rain not to take it against me, because you can counter
true.
pretty much most XP heroes with Yuzhong if you were confident in him. You get that brute force early to get that anti-knock-up effect from the gacha. You just secure yourself a bit more resilience as well.
Hmm. You also can pair it up with tough boots if you really want to, and you see a lot of magic damage on the other side. But the lock in the Irithel, they pick up the Phobius as well at the same time. All right, they're having that priority, and they pick up one of the best gold laners apart from 1-1 right away. But it's the Kimi pick on the other side. You were talking about it, Farsa, Kimi, the two main priorities out there. Farsa can counter the Kimi, but with the lineup that Rain are going right now, I'd still say it's going to be difficult for Toby to reach Kimi now. But the next few bans are going to be very crucial because we might see Rain choke out that jungle pool, but for now they prioritize the Matilda.
The Matilda is a good thing that won't allow them to go for a Threader in jungle, because that's going to give them an extra dash, because they have already the stuns from Phobius, they have already the stuns and the damage from Farsa. And the
Yeah.
Threader on top of that is going to seal the deal alongside the Matilda, giving an extra boost to that Irritel, just allowing her to move up and down the map even gracefully. Even without her Tiger, she could just get on the back of Matilda and fly away. But still, the fighters are left open. And the goal
Yeah.
lane. I mean, two big things here. Will they go for the Bruno? Will they go for the Granger? Or will they go for something out of the ordinary? Maybe the Harif?
Could be possible, either one of them. We haven't really seen a lot of Harit picks out here right now these days, but it is highly possible we might possibly see that happen though. But the Kalia was banned out. So again, the Gatot Kacha picked up right away by Kingstar. That does not really signify that it's going in the roam 100%. It is a flex pick. It can still be put up in that EXP lane if need be. So I do like what AKKE are trying to do. Not really doubling down on the EXP laners ban, but they're rather focusing down on some things that can counter the Farsa, that can counter even the Irithiel out there, the Kelia, the Tsunami Slam. You don't want to deal with that annoying tail. So banning it away right off the bat too. But I think so the Granger ban should be the key at this point. Bruno still needs some time to farm up. Granger is the one that goes on right off the bat. But they still prioritize the
The
Moscow. That is
Moscow.
interesting.
I mean, the
Yeah.
Moscow is going to allow them to join every team frame from whenever on the map where they want. I mean, Farsa, you're a standing target, you're not moving, you're a sentry. Moscow Spear
True.
of Distraction just hits you, boom, you're grilled chicken. What are you going to do? You're a cooked swab. But even so, the Phobius is such an okay pick. It's not bad, it's not good. It's directly in the middle, it's average. There's better picks, there's the Alrot, there's the Lapu Lapu, there's the Yuzhong. There's worse picks, there's that AKKE possibility, there's that Bards which I don't see, but I want to see, because, it's a suppression. You can eliminate with some heroes, but it's still a good hero for team fights, especially because you have that big hitbox and you can block a lot of the damage. You can just soak a ton. But what jungler will Team AKKE go for? Will they go still for the Fredrin with an maybe support roam? Or will they go for an assassin pick here?
I think so. They should prioritize those assassins right now, specifically Link, considering the mobility that he's going to have to. But that needs to be paired up with a roamer that also likes to dive in. So that's going to be the main key. The synergy is going to be the main key between both of the players, and I think so. At this point, they also need a bit of a frontlining as well. So they can't really go for any kind of support roam as well. They need something solid. They need some proper frontline, maybe Tigreal or something along that line. But they're going to lock in the Suyu and the Jawhead. It's been a while since we last saw the Suyu. So talk to me about it, Zakota.
I mean, it's been a while since we saw the Jawhead as well, but recently Soyu has gotten a pretty massive nerf to his passive,
Yes.
which allowed him to get that extra 30% damage reduction to all types of damage. But now it's only against physical, some mages, and Gatot Kacha. That Kimi is gonna dish out a ton of damage to him. So it's gonna be
True.
a really nice hero to play here. It's a pretty okayish counter into the Lancelot, but still, that show is gonna get picked up on the roam.
I love
Hold
it.
on.
I absolutely love it. You know what? Yes, I do understand a bit of a question out there, but the Beatrix Cho pair, that works brilliantly. We have seen that work on the international stages as well multiple times. You go for that pick off, and you've got the Jeet Kundo as well to knock up whenever Kuru wants to jump in or whenever Nandayo would want to set things up for his team. So you're just ready to take all of them out, all of them back, and Farsa will be forced to take a Purify. Maku will be forced to take a Purify. You cannot run with a Flicker when there is a AOG on the other side. There's also Yoichi with the Way of the Dragon on the other side. So you're forcing not just a playstyle but also the spells on that end with this one pick. I love the draft from Rain.
I mean, I disagree with you only in one fact. On Farsa, you can actually still keep that Flicker because you need to dodge that AOG and the
True.
possible, rocket barrage from Beatrix. That damage AOE as well. You can just escape
Yes.
wings by wings. On Irritate, I said it's a must-have. You must have that Purify because you're gonna get constantly attacked. The Kim is gonna stun you. The Cho is gonna stun you. The Gacha is gonna taunt you. Just pull you away from your team. But the Jawhead, I really don't like here because you have the Kim, you have the Beatrix, you have the Cho with the immunity. The Beatrix can just dash away as well. Lancelot immune, Gacha immune. There are so many heroes on the opposing team that can counter his stun effects that, it's a 50-50 pick. It can work. If it works, it's good. If it doesn't work, it's really not a big deal because you expect it to be, a 50-50, as I said again, because they don't have an AoE effect. They don't have an AoE stun. They have the
I think so. We're having.
They have the Phoveus lineup, and they have the Gacha AoE. They have the Cho single target, but Phoveus and Jawhead both are single target lockdown.
It's a big thing out there. The single targets, yes, they are. Again, Kingstar, look at the amount of damage he's allowed Mio to deal on Kuru. You try and help out your own jungler, guess what? You're going to be taken down instantly, and the Flicker forced out in the first 40 seconds. That is such a big tool. It's not going to be up now. And that's such a big priority coming in from Rain. Now, this is one of the big reasons why a Cho is a very solid pick, Zakota, because yes, he's a single target hero, but he's guaranteeing you a kill on the other side. So that's already one player out of the mixture. And he's got so much anti-CC. Toby, my goodness, he can't deal with the amount of damage that's being dished out. He will survive at the last possible second, but Mio is having the time.
Yuichi is almost dead and he falls at the hands of Maku, but even so in the top lane, the Lancer is going to take that Lizard away from Maku's experience gain. But the only thing we didn't take into consideration is the farming speed the Jawhead can provide to the Suyu. You can start that red buff with the Jawhead, allowing him to get that early game that we just witnessed right now. But still, not a big lead.
Not a big lead though, but this lead will help that Retail to try and farm up right now. Toby is going to send out Bloom right into the turret though, but he himself will also survive. The Flicker comes in at the right possible second. But again, as we're talking about that priority in the mid lane, it still is in the hands of Rain. And they will have Cho hop in towards that turtle fight faster than AKKE can join in. That is already a big thing.
Not checking the mid bush is such an egoistical thing. But look at that Feather Airstrike!
Almost catching Mio out there in the open, though he still will survive. Toby is still trying to out-sustain out there. Nandayo is going to have to reposition, but Joshi, the execution line on that Lancelot has always been on top. He's still going to be knocked back in. The bonks coming in from Kuru was enough to knock him back, but the turtle has been taken away by Rain.
The gold lead is still in the favor of Team AKKE because the Irrital getting that early gank and allowing her to take an extra wave over the Beatrix just improved their odds of winning by a ton. And he's gonna go for that Haskell first item build as well. So that's another thing you have to look out for. We're gonna see a Burger recalling out in the top lane. And look at Kingstar. He's gonna try to go for a nasty flicker play. We know that Toby and Nandayo are lurking nearby.
Yeah.
But look at Joshi. He's going to try to take every jungle opportunity he can in the top lane. He's not going to go for his cockroach because he already knows that the Phoveus is there. He's just holding it in the bush for him. But look at that. Where's the dragon?
Yeah. Coming in already. Yes, Toby's going to be taken down instantly. The phantom execution from Joshi was absolutely perfect. This has given them a proper priority out there. But a nice steal on the Litho right away by Nandayo. Now he's going to be running in towards the bottom side for the rotation as Kingstar lands right into his hands. The CC coming in connected perfectly, but the Feathered Airstrike is going to push Mio back. He's trying to survive out there, but Kuru with the Flicker catches him perfectly. And that's the mid lane shutdown.
That was such a good use to wait. A good way to use the Flicker because you already confirmed him. But look at that in the mid.
Yeah, he's still trying to take that fight for them. All down, Josh. It is a big problem.
Where the dragon is not available. I mean, actually, it just went up for availability, but still the zoning from Team AKKE is big. AOG,
Still trying to land in on someone though, but catching absolutely a Natalia out here.
big
Toby
zoning
is
mode with
ready.
Toby.
Not really got the ejector. Still gonna hold it down, but again the CC coming in from Bio. That's a bit of a problem. But they're gonna jump in now finally, and the feathered airstrike is gonna land in. Kingstar, the first one to fall out in the open, as everyone else was zoned out by that big ultimate. And that is such a nice call. It's a big win for Aki because they will win the turtle now.
I mean, the goal lead 1,500 in the favor of Team AKKE. The turtle is gonna go in their hands as well, uncontested, because Joshi is getting invaded. Lancelot is
Toby,
there.
hold on. Toby's been able to steal away the orange buff
Oh,
as well.
I didn't
They're
even
winning on
notice that.
every single front. I know, right? Even I thought that he's just trying to zone him off right now, but hold on. Kuru almost taking Joshi out there though, and now he's also got the support of Mako, who's ready to land in Thornrose, only to help him survive for the next few seconds, but he's not going to be allowed to run away. You've got every tool, but nothing in your bag to save yourself. Another dash by Maku to end things up easily for Joshi, and it seems like they want blood for that first game.
5 kill advantage, 2,000 gold and a half, and even Steven on the turtles right now. But look at Mio and Kingsa in the bush. Toby is there with that red buff for the extra damage. We have the dragon. There.
Still trying to catch him out there, up in the open. Bloom gets caught as well. All 5 players in the mid lane. They're going to push out that mid tier 1 as well. There is nothing that Rain could do at this point. The only win condition left right now is UHV.
UH can make a difference. He only died one time and he was playing for farming a lot, but even so, Team Rain has a more of a late game team composition. They have the Lancer, which is gonna go for, I assume, the tank route right now. He's seeing the damage has been being dealt to him, but still.
Yeah.
First item, Blade Armor in the hands of Curse, so just gonna allow him to tank a lot more. But look at him with Dragon.
Yeah, but tanking is not really the best forte of Toby out here. He's been taken down instantly from all of that damage, though. Has been forced the other side to use quite a bit of utilities. It's a trade 1-for-1 for Kingstar. So at least they're getting something out of it, but not really in terms of all those objectives. The tier 1 on the top side will be pushing in. And Astra has just picked up a Berserker's Fury. Pair it up with a Claw. He's going to out-sustain everyone and also deal so much more damage now.
4,000 gold lead in the favor of Team AKKE. Another turtle in their hands, uncontested, but still, I think they had a change of heart. Team Rain with the draft. They went for the Gacha Rome first of all, and then they swapped the experience. And I mean, I think if they had a Yuzhong or a Lapu Lapu or even an Arlo, they would have made a big difference in the game. Especially against this team fight. They have so many heroes that are without a dash. But look at
Conceal. Astra he's got the Purify available right now, so he's going to be running back, dodges the Bennett's Rage as well, and now the re-engage comes in. Kuru joins in right on 3 people, lands it perfectly. The feathered airstrike, almost catching everyone, but it's Maku who destroys the tower on the top side, and everyone on the other team is being destroyed in the mid. They take Bloom down, and now they're going to force the tier 2 off mid as well. There is nothing Rain can do to defend it. Oh, guess what? Guess what? There's nothing Mio can do to survive as well. What a combination from Maku and Kuru.
That Gorda really made a big difference. But look at Joshi.
He still wants to survive out there. The way of the dragon connecting into the Bennett's Rage as well. But Maku still out-sustains it all. Because the feathered airstrike was there to zone off the members of Rain. They're still gonna survive and they will take every piece of farm available.
I mean, it's an exact copy of game number 1, but AKKE right now is in the leading position. Still, it can be turned around. Look at man, that Lancelot, that puncture. Perfect execution. Even so, a lot of poking damage. Toby still has the unstoppable, so he can go for Mio in a heartbeat. But look at their airstrikes damage.
Yeah, they're struggling to deal with the feathered airstrike right now. I do understand that the Gatot Kacha's AOG is there, but guess what? Bloom is forced to clear off the other parts of the lanes as well. So he's not really there for the fights. And whenever the feathered airstrike is used up, he does not have the AOG ready. And I think so that has been one of the big problems for Rain. I don't really feel it's a big draft issue. I think so it's more of an execution issue right now. But Joshi is the man who's being executed up on top, who will try to survive out there. There's the way of the dragon into the penetrate as well. The Thorn Rose misses every single piece of U-tail, and it's Bloom to fall as the first one in that fight. As everyone from the side of Rain retreats, it's a 9,000 reaching gold lead. After this Lord, it will be. Let's have a look at the items as well, which are just pairing up so well.
We were showing no damage items on the 4vs. He's gonna go for those Queen Wings as well, but still Lancelot is opting for the early Endless Battle over the early Queen Wings. I mean, it's a good thing, yes. You get a bit more healing from basic, but look at the dragon!
Yeah, it's a perfect one as well, but they don't really have the damage as Toby's gonna survive, and Kingstar is the man who falls down. They basically dropped everything they had except for the kitchen sink, and they have still not managed to pick off Toby. That means that it's just they don't have enough damage right now to try and out-sustain as the Lord marches down from mid lane.
Retribution being bought by both teams, just allowing them to have a little bit more farm centered around the Yuichi, but still, that Feather Airstrike is so dangerous. It does so much damage. That's why it's so good into the Kimi, because Kimi cannot do anything to you. I mean, no one else can.
It's again the way of the dragon coming in onto Marco this time around into the tower. That's a 320 shutdown goal plus the bounty that they're going to get as Toby is going to be poked down, forced to flicker out to try and survive Kuru. The knockup is there onto him as he tries to jump on. The bonks connect perfectly. Yoichi is going to run back and survive. The flicker has been forced out, but Rain will survive this first Lord.
Off camera, we saw Lancelot taking the life of the bird wielding crazy lady Nayando. He finally got shot down, giving them, and again, extra cool. Look at that farm difference between the junglers, not that big. It's only 1,700 gold or so.
Still. Yeah, and that is the best. That is the big thing about it right now. And guess what? It's not really a tank. It's not a tank slot. It is still a damaged Lancelot with the endless battle and the war axe. So Irithel can't really play, a bit too lousy around the Lancelot. They'll have to be careful along with Nandayo as well, whose Purify is going to be on the cooldown for the next 30 seconds. They need to be careful right now. Bloom might actually be caught out there. They've spotted out Toby, but Joshi is going to be taken down to such a low HP as Astra still dealing damage, and he will get the mega kill. The AOG connects onto him into the penetrate as well as now Toby is the man who's facing everything with a feathered airstrike from Nandayo, able to help his team out as he wants to try and push all of them back. As Mako will be joining in the fight, but they will not get any fight.
I mean, it's a 4 versus 4, 30 seconds to the Lord. AKKE, I mean, Astra's lineup is gonna be fully up. Josh is gonna be up as well, but still, Toby has the unstoppable. He can just go wherever he wants. He can just ignore the chose kick. He can just go wherever. However, Mako just needs to land a pretty good opening. Look at that!
Oh my god, that's a nasty shot. Bloom is going to be the first one to fall. Kingstar left on an island as he sets things up on Toby into the Nibiru's passion. But the passion is just not enough. Hard work's lacking out there in terms of the damage, and Yuichi will not get anything as they lose control in the Lord Pit. But good thing, Joshi is still alive. He's got the retribution up. If he wants, he can try and go in for that steal, but they've all just decided to back off. They will give up on this Lord.
It's a bit too risky to contest Suyu because he has the execution and skill too. Even if you're Lancelot, it's still a pretty big advantage knowing when you're Lancelot. You can time it for the enemy. It goes both ways, but still the retribution damage is in favor of Mako. However, the game is somewhat leveling out. Only 7,000 gold lead. 10 kill difference between this. Conceal has been used. You're going to look for a pick off really quickly.
They want to try and catch someone, but they will not get any. AKKE are playing disciplined, they are playing far back, and looking at the itemization as well, only the Wind of Nature is lacking from Astra right now. So I think so that's going to be a crucial key for Joshi to try and cast this Irithel. But will that happen or not? It's a big question. Do you think they can defend this Lord Zakota?
I think team Rain can definitely defend this Lord. They have the Beatrix, they have the Kimi, they have the Gatot Kacha, they have the Choan, the Lancelot all up and ready, but the Lord is gonna go charge down the mid lane. Look at the damage on Yuichi.
Yeah, the feather airstrike as well. Just making sure to zone everyone out there. This is the strength whenever you have a Farsa. And the other side does not have enough tankiness as well. Kingstar, he's just being poked down to such a low HP. The Lord's going to be taken care of though, yes, but the minion's still out there. The tier 1 up on top. Nibiru's passion, absolutely no one. There's still one more wave and another feather airstrike on their faces. The siege is perfect from AKKE.
Only the bot inhibitor turret is left up. Kingstar has the throw. He has the flicker ready. He has everything in his power. But look out!
Oh,
AOG.
yeah, that's gonna be the first one. AOG connecting absolutely on no one. Everyone was just able to iframe it out there, and Kuru is the first one to fall though. That's a big pick after such a long time. But Nandayo and Astra answer back collectively in unison. The arrow shot does not connect Maku, almost catching him. But still, it's the Thorn Rose saving the life right now. Out of there, the Nibiru's passion up and ready again. A stun lands in. They have one more minion to take care of. No retribution. And the base will be taken down. And AKKE
goes, I already know that this is a big booster team Rain's win rate. Even so, as you said, the one should actually stay open because the Baksha is a pretty decent counter to it. Because you're just so tanky. You have that Turkish Persians, extra resistance, extra resilience as well. And if you get that freeze on top, you're just gonna be, you know, a rolling icicle.
It could be possible, you know, they can try and gamble that out. I think so. That could also be one way to go to try and just take away the comfort picks off the other side. So I really want to see how this eventually pans out. But I'm again expecting Rain to stick to their main banning meta with the way how they went. I don't think so they were going to ban Zushin or Farsa or either the Kimi this time around. They're going to try and force AKKE to be on that banning side, banning away the Hillcut. Maybe they can try and take away another jungler though. No, they actually ban out the Farsa. That's a good respect being shown to Nandayo.
I mean, I agree with you completely. Farsa being the most broken mage in the game right now. I mean, it's a titan not many things have. But the Kimi should go out as well. I mean, if you don't ban the Kimi, Rain is going to get... If you leave the Kimi banned, you can get the Zetian. I mean, Zetian is a really good hero, which, you know, it's underrated, I would say. You have basically all Yusushin ultimate, you have that Mountain Shocker, you have that revealing aura, you have that stun potential as well, so it can go both ways.
True. I agree now. But again, when you're on the red side, there are certain priorities that you will have to focus on regardless of what the other side is trying to do. 1-1, Uranus, you'll have to take care of them. And now it falls down to you just getting forced on a Baxia ban or a Kimi ban. You have to leave one open if you're AKKE. But guess what? Rain have decided to help them out a bit out there. They banned out the Baxia for themselves. Now it's forcing a Kimi ban. If you don't ban a Kimi, then it's going to be picked up by Rain, and then you'll have to pick up something along the lines of a Zacian as well, or maybe something else that can actually clear the wave quickly in that mid lane to take some of that control. But yeah, I'm for now, Rain have got a solid control in this draft.
I mean, I agree with that. Being the first pick, you're gonna get an allowance to pick the Fanny, to pick that Wise, to pick that Hayabusa as well, which I think is severely underrated. Hayabusa is still strong. But the Ruby is gonna get banned out, leaving the Kimi open. Do you think Team AKKE thinks that, let's give them the Kimi, we're gonna pick something like a Lolita to counter it? The Juxin?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. They were having the similar idea that if they ban out the Kimi, then this is going to go in the exact same way how it went like in the game number 1. So they decided to change things up. They decided to leave the Zushin and the Kimi open to ban out the Ruby out here. And now since the Zushin has been picked up, they quickly prioritize the Phoveus and the Erethiel. 2 picks for them that worked out in the previous match. They're going to try and bring that up in this one as well. But this leaves room open for so many other picks right now. The Lapu Lapu is up on the grab. You can also pick up the Arlet as well if you really want to. Joshi Mio. They can try and lock the Yi and Shin one more time. And I think so it's going to be wonderful in this scenario as well, because Phoveus would again want to jump on your face and you've got that stun to try and survive.
I mean, the Yi Shin, the Fredder in the Arlet, as you said, and repeat of game number 1's draft, I believe. Even with, I think they're going to go for the Badang. I think Rain is going to try to go for the Badang pick. So AKKE should ban it out. But even still, What is Nandayo gonna pick on the mid lane to trade? The Zetian? The Kimi?
Mm, I think so. He can eventually go for the Kimi. You'll have a decent amount of poking going on between the Zushin and the Kimi, and you can also clear the wave properly. But I'm still, again, not quite sure because he would have to run on the Purify. We saw how Bloom was able to make those plays on the Aura previously. He was just so annoying with the final slashes plays out there. So they will be forced to take that Purify regardless of what the situation is. I think so. Kimi could be a good pick, but also if he wants, he can go for the Zacian. Totally depends on what he's more comfortable with right now. Because the next few bans, again, I'm feeling are going to be the same as we saw in the match number 1. We might possibly see the Kalia being banned out, something along the similar
Badang.
lines. Guess what? They pick up the Badang and they ban away the Kalia. Oh, all right, that is interesting.
And I think we're gonna see a Zetian getting banned out along with maybe an Valentina, as you mentioned previously. The Valentina with the final slash can be a devastating thing, even with that wishing lantern, just giving him an extra dash away, on top of the
Probably.
flicker. But it's still too early to tell what the mage is gonna be. We have to see what jungle team AKKE is gonna pick.
Kimi.
I mean, what else can it be?
I mean, they've got still a few options out here. The Lancelot available for the jungle. They've also got the Ling if they really want to go in for it. You will have that jail free card as well in the form of the Tempest of Blades to try and survive some of that CC on the other end. So you still have a few options in the jungle. Even the Hayabusa, I personally feel, would be a very good pick, specifically against a Zushin, because he can close the gap so quickly with those shadows.
Even the
So I
Lancelot.
do like. Exactly. The Lancelot can do the same thing with the punctures as well. Thorn Rose, Phantom Execution, everything for you to try and run up to the Zushin and take him down. So, we'll have to be careful on that. But there's one last ban. The banned out the Roam. I think so they can still try and prioritize one more Roam ban out here. Considering the draft that they're going with, nope, they're going to still lock in that Moskov. Don't really want to give it in the hands of Chi.
I mean, that's a really good ban. I mean, Yuichi is strong on that Moscow. But will they ban out the Zetian or will they ban out the jungler? What do you think?
I don't think so. Zacian is going to be a big problem out there for Joshi because his final slash can still put the Zacian in an off position, and Zacian does not have a lot of movement speed as well or any extra mobility skill. So you'll be forced to burn up your flicker, and if it's on cooldown, that's a GG for you. So maybe they're gonna try and
I think there has been technical difficulty, so I think we're gonna go on a short little break, Scared.
All right.
While the things get fixed. I mean, we can hypothetically say about this, but I'm so excited to see what the ban is gonna be. I can't wait.
Even I'm excited about that. But now, since you've said that if we're gonna go on a short break, I'll wait for the confirmation as well from the producer side. But don't worry, people out there. I know you all are very interested to see what's gonna happen in this game 3, but we are fixing that issue very quickly, and we just appreciate your concern as well out here, staying up and enjoying so much of this game. But guess what? Every single thing has been fixed up while I was actually thanking all of you. So now we're going to move on to this one last ban as well. Again, falls in the same question. If it's a Zacian ban, then what is going to be that mid lane pick for AKKE? Because how are you otherwise going to counter a Zushin if not with a Hayabusa?
I mean, it depends. Maybe the Fanny.
Interesting.
I was thinking about the Fanny, but I didn't know that Kuru played the Fanny. I mean Maku. I thought he didn't play the Fanny. I thought he was more of this fighter-esque jungling types, but he can play the Fanny?
If he pulled out a Joy in the first one, at least he tried to pull out a Joy. So maybe this time around they think that he's got some card up his sleeve. So banned with the Fanny as well. I do like the idea. Now it's going to be a Novaria pick. All right. Now this is getting a bit more interesting. You have the range. You'll have the vision. You will have the poke. All you would need to do is a proper cleanup. Yes, Hayabusa. If you pick it up, that's going to work out wonderfully for you.
What else could be the choice of jungler? But still, Team Rain hasn't picked out their Roam/XP yet. Nor the gold. I mean, the Bruno is open on the table. It goes up against the Phoebus and Badang pretty well, but the Irritor I think has a bigger advantage in the early game, just getting the power spike. But still, it's a good hero. Bruno is good because as soon as you get that range item, that Malefic gun, you can be dishing out a ton of damage, 2,000 per ball if I'm not mistaken. So it's gonna be interesting to see what it takes. Bruno
You mentioned
Blue.
about the Bruno. Okay. Like, it's also got the 100% win rate out here, so you clearly know that it's going to be a big problem out there, and you don't really have a lot of tools to deal with the glue. The only problem that I see for Rain is how are they going to catch Novaria? That's going to be the big thing. Nandayo's positioning previously was already very solid, so we know he can position himself well. How are you going to try and catch him up right now is the big question. I'm
I think it's
interested
gonna
to see.
be left
Mhm,
open to Joshi and I believe Kingstown
probably.
that Rome. I mean, they have to go for the final slash and that Mountain Chakra combination, but the Suyu is gonna get picked out of ban. Zero ban, 67% win rate, 3 picks if I'm not mistaken. All in
Hmm.
the hands of Mako.
Yeah, he's always been playing that Suyu. He showed that he can play it previously. The combination with Kuru was also pretty solid for him in the previous one. I think so. This is still a very decent draft as compared to their first game draft. I do like this one a lot better. They've got a good amount of mobility to work around with. It all falls down to how things are going to be set up by the Badang with those fist cracks, with those walls as well. How well are you going to set that up? Because Rain's front line is very solid with the Arlet and with the glue. And if it goes to late game, again, you've got a double marksman in form of a Yi Senshin and a Bruno. So they have the priority.
I agree with you completely on that, but look at that Arlot on the roam. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see, but the game has started. Do you see anything interesting about the emblems?
Wanted to see as well on those ones, but for now, everything that's up in front. Oh my goodness, look at the amount of brave smite we actually have. And Joshi is running on that killing spree. After that, after when killing spree received a buff now, we are seeing a lot of people pick that up as well, specifically the ones who like to early snowball.
I mean, I would have picked it personally on that Suyu as well to give him a lot more movement speed and healing, because you can get low HP, you're a fighter still, and you're gonna benefit a lot. But look at that clear speed coming in from the YSS. He's already half gone with his red buff. The golds are trading. Toby is there. He's gonna try to catch Yuichi.
Yeah, they want to try and finish him off first, Yuichi though, but the flicker helps him survive as of now.
The
At
wave
least he's going to
has
be
been
taking his
frozen.
life. Yeah, he's taking his life back with him. Now he learned this thing from the previous one, but hold on, in the mid lane right now, Nandayo eating up a lot of damage out there from Mio, and he is zoning him out as well. So that is a big thing. Maku is ready on that Sasuke. Got the Susanoo up and ready is Kingstar. Wants to try and run away back to safety. Yoichi is also struggling. The arrow lands in on them, but they do not have enough damage to try and take them out.
Ooh.
Kingstar! It's gonna be the fun to fall, and now Yoichi will follow him right in that instant, and Astra gets the pick. Neo is very late to the party, and that is a big start for the side of AKKE.
I think the turtle is still gonna go in the hands of Team Rain, but still in the bot lane, losing the gold laner early, losing him so much money. And Astra getting his powers back at level 4 is just, a thing you don't want to see.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of the most crucial things out there. I normally say that you can't really let go of the first turtle if you take the gold from the bottom tower. But guess what? That has not really been the case. But hold
Final
on a second,
slash.
Kingstar. Gale goes in for the final slash. Yes, Toby's out there now. Joshi tries to jump in as well to save the day for his team, as they are always playing in this one part of the river and aggressively on the other side of the map. But still, they did not really get any trade. But since they took the turtle, the 600 gold lead has fallen down to just 400. Hold on.
Blume.
Kingstar, they want to catch on to this one. The Zushin knock up perfect as Toby falls with glue on his face. That's the retaliation from Rain.
I wouldn't want to see a glue on my face either, but still, that was a good turnaround. Only 200 or so gold lead in the favor of Team AKKE, and now it has been sealed. Bruno has been winning his lane. He's been getting gold. He's been getting what he lost back. But the mid lane, there's a fight.
Yeah, they want to try and take them down as of now. It's going to be Market to fall first, though, with the fist crack almost catching 3. But it did not matter. They did not have enough damage to deal as the dealers fell early on, and now the gold lead is shifting in favor of Rain.
the goal lead has been going since that turtle started. It's been going up, going down. You know, it's like a stock market. But even so, Mio has been doing an amazing job with that Juxin, just being a complete nuisance. But look at Josh in the top lane. They're trying to maybe go for a fight. Lume has his ultimate available,
Split.
ready to go on
Yeah.
Phobius. But, you know, I don't think it's worth it. I don't think Phobius is the right target. Either Mako or Toby, because they're the main stunners.
They have always been on top of the game. I agree. And for now, Yoichi needs to deliver that as well. Picks up the Haas claw for himself early on, and so will Astra, doing the exact same thing on the other side. He's got a lot of work to do with right now. Look at the bottom side. Irithiel, it's going to be taken down instantly as Joshi shuts Astra into the tower. They give up the control of the turtle now, though, but they still have two more people. But during that entire time, Yoichi will take away the gold of the bottom tower. That is going to give him a humongous lead right now. The grab comes on as well. You don't want to deal damage to Toby right now by actually taking Bloom down, though, but Mako steals the turtle away. Even the Astral Echo was also there, revealing every single information there, but still, the recall did not land. It is going to be a disengage, but the gold lead is favoring Rain.
I mean, 1,300 gold, and they took that turret and the full plating. But look at Kingstar.
Still wants to try and take that fight up. Yeah, up close and personal, wants to jump in. Maku falls the first one. Yoichi is the man who gets some action out there. The Phobius joins in as well. A big fish crack landing onto two. They do have enough CC, but is the damage going to be there? Absolutely it will. Ashra answers back perfectly on the Irithiel now. He's going to be caught in as well. Suyu on the other side as Joshi will shut him down. And Kuru is left on an island. And it's not the prettiest one. It's going to go down in the ocean again. Rain devour AKKE like a tsunami.
A big gold lead finally in the favor of Team Rain. 2,600 gold, 2,700 gold. Now Joshi has been putting in the work, but still Bruno has the most gold in their team. He has been getting that plating on top, on bottom as well, and the tower finally. But still, look at Toby. He's all alone. Only Astra is there to protect him.
Yeah, and he's right now still trying to catch in fish crack onto the ball as well. Yoichi down to 50% of his HP. But he's still gonna survive. Again, not having enough damage out here early on. Astra going 2-2-1 on this Erethiel. Only level 7 to a level 9 Bruno on the other side. It is getting so much more difficult, and Joshi is farming up. 6 minutes in, he's already level 10.
6 minutes in, already level 10, but only 2 levels ahead of Mako, which got invaded a ton. They got one turtle each, so it's not that big of a difference, but still now it's massive. 3 levels, 6 minutes in, he's gonna hit that level 15 power spike so soon. I mean, it's amazing. He's not opting for that Hunter Strike, he's opting for the Hunter Strike, but not the Sky Piercer, and he's gonna get that turtle and that bot lane wave and crab. Again, giving him more and more experience.
It's going to help him snowball even right now. Bloom is just going to push everyone else back though. But again, it's going to go in for the grab. Maybe not yet. Instantly, they're going to retreat back to safety. Toby's going to be caught up as well. Goes in for the fish crack to try and push them all down the ball, blocking their view. And that's the final slash, but it's only catching Kuru. Not a big problem out there as they all survive. And in the meantime, it was still Maku stealing away that mid-tier 1 quickly from the other side. I do like what they're trying to do, but again, the lead of Joshi is increasing ever so slightly, even if, but he's still 3 levels ahead from Maku. And I think so that has been a bit of a problem, man.
I mean, Joshi is always the problem. He's one of the best, as I said, junglers in the entire region of Europe, but Blume is an up-and-comer to the pro scene. He is usually called Burger, but right now I believe he changed it into something a bit more sophisticated. But even so, look at Kuru in the mid lane, in a big fight, big stun!
Mio goes all the way onto the ball as well as Astra tried to catch him, but still a bit far away as Joshi deletes Maku in the backline down there. Solo 1v1 fight. Asuyu losing out there. Sasuke seems like he's found his Naruto and is not winning that fight on that front. That's also given him a lot of edge. An endless battle being picked up by Joshi. And now Yoichi is also farming up, and the final slash! On to do, catching all of them off position now. Kuru bonking in on top of them, but it does not matter as he will not be able to sustain through any of that.
And look at that fight in the top lane. They're trying to go for Maku already. Monster kill in the hand of Josh. Oh my god, Novara goes down.
Instantly. Absolutely instantly. I was not expecting that to happen, but guess what? This is the amount of damage that this Yi Sun Shin is dealing now. And Astra, you can run in the tower, but it does not matter. The football's gonna be chasing you, Yuichi, right now. Gonna try and win all those cups out here. My man is turning into Ronaldo. Sorry for the Messi fans out there, but this Lord right now is gonna go for Rain. There's no way they're gonna be stopped right away. Toby left on an island, gonna be brought back up right into his death. He's buried down deep, 6 feet under, and he's not getting up for the next 20 seconds.
I mean, the recent buff on YSS's ship is the biggest thing ever, allowing him to have that extra movement speed and the longer cooldown. I mean, it's just the dreams came true. 8,600 gold in hands compared to the 6,000 of Yuichi. I mean, of Mako. I mean, big difference. Still 1,100 gold ahead of your own marksman on the jungle. Like, it's a complete slaughter. 9 minutes, not even 40 seconds in, and he was big. But look at Final Slash.
Yeah, he's still trying to catch them as Toby was able to fish track out into the safety. Toby is going to survive as well through all of that, but Kuru will not have the same fate. In an instant out there, the stun connects. Maku brought down a bit too low, but as long as this man survives, there goes the holy shield down off mid lane. It will probably happen the same for the top as well and along with bot though, but at least they will be able to save the tier inhibitor on top. The mid is going to fall. And the siege has always been so perfect for Rain. It still is going to be same.
I don't know if you noticed, but Yi Sun Shin got his level 15 at 9 minutes and 14 seconds. That is an achievement with the recent change to the jungle, allowing it to spawn later is going to give a little bit more room for the other's lane to breathe, but still, it impacted Josh really by nothing. He got level 15 in under the suspected time. Not even Mako is close. They're burning so hard. Look at that. He's the only level 15 in the game. Not even his team is close to him.
The closest one is Yuichi, still 2 levels behind Maku as well on the other side. But that's the big thing now, having a look at the items yet again. Another crit item. I'm expecting a Wind Talker to be built up right now by Yuichi. That means he can sell out his boots, but I would not really recommend that because that extra bit of resilience through the CC actually helps you survive through the fist crack of Badang and also through the CC of Phobius. But at the same time, I'm probably going to witness a Great Dragon Spear right now from Astra. Once he makes that item, he will have a good amount of mobility. But Bloom is still catching on all of them. And he's also prioritized the Twilight Armor.
The Twilight Armor also recently got the buff allowing you to heal based on your max HP as soon as you hit 30% threshold. And it's going to be very good against these big damage dealers. I mean, it's a good item all around, especially with Rapid Boots in the combination. You're just going to be so much better off.
Running away throughout the map, and yes, I agree. And I think so that's why that Great Dragon Spear becomes even more crucial for Astra to try and either close the gap and catch Mio or try and run away from Bloom, who is still being so annoying, standing up in front though. An easy law take coming in for Raid. And it just feels that this might actually be it. Conceal play right now, instantly with the final slash catching 3 of the people. Fish crack only, stopping them for an instant, but it does not matter. Everyone is falling like Skittles. It's Kuru the first one to fall. He is not going to survive out there, and so will Astra as he's still trying to survive. The football goes in way of the bird, but Maku is out of the range. Saves the life of his teammates by retreating. The Astra Echo out there giving the information, but it's a big chunky wave down bottom. Luckily they've cleared it off and Kuru will be back in 10 seconds, but this seems difficult.
Lord is marching down the mid lane. Everyone is up on the side of Rain, so is everyone on the side of AKKE, but the item difference is big. But look at that! Final slash.
Another final slash. And that instantly puts Nandayo off in an off position. He's been deleted. 1 second and he's out of the picture, and Toby is falling out of the
Mio.
same fate as well as Mio gets him down. The Lord has been taken care of, but it's the minions that have always been the problem. Bloom jumps in with the flicker, trying to catch Astra, but it's Kuro who's falling in. The base is open, out, in, grab, and it's going to be Rain to secure game number 3.